Digitisation will never replace human working or the way humans work. It'll just change the way they work. And what I mean is, we've seen over the years, and eSign's been involved with several projects with the European Commission on digitisation of certain businesses, and we see that it just helps people work smarter. So by digitising processes, businesses are allowed to redeploy their assets and their human resources in a more effective manner. It just helps. It's more of a symbiosis between autonomy and digital systems and human processes. Certain individuals will feel apprehensive in adopting them and think that it's going to take over their role, when it's not. It's actually improving their skill and knowledge base. There's roles now where individuals, the job is, and they teach this in schools, to implement one software with another with no code and oversee that transition. One example is eSign was a very new concept only 10 years ago, electronic signatures and digital document management. That's still quite new. What we've got now, 10 years later, is there's actual roles for people in jobs, and it's head of electronic signatures and digital processes. That's actually a role. Implementing electronic signature software into, say, Microsoft Power Automate or Salesforce, that's a specific role that's being created now. So whereas a person's job could have been to manage the filing system of a paper process, now the role is a lot more effective. With children now, digitalization's almost become a passive and agnostic technology. It's just in the day-to-day lives. So my children, they get their homework and notifications as a parent in a digital format. They don't get paper anymore. There's multiple facets for savings when it comes to digitalisation. Coming back to individuals that fear for the jobs, it actually redeploys them. So whereas their job is not going to be taken over, but what it does is, we've got individual research that shows we can free up a lot of time when it comes to human resource. eSign was brought about because on everyday life I could see issues with documents and documents going missing, and it was affecting me in my personal life as well as in the profession in which I was working at the time, and that's how eSign came about. So I created a very basic platform upon which documents could be sent from point A to point B securely, and as well as that, the identification, the identity of that person that the document was being sent to could be verified. Humans won't be replaced by digital software. They never will, and they'll always require a human element, because ultimately it's us as citizens and us as a society that the digital processes are serving. What we find is when there's an error or a security breach and it's put down to human error, it's not necessarily an error on an individual's part, it's just lack of understanding and lack of appropriate training for the digital process. Now, a lot of good software as a service providers will work with companies and ensure that they get the appropriate training. So when eSign engages with a large organisation, we do what's called a business value map, and we specify that the company specifies what it is they require. We build that system for them, but along the roadmap they'll have training at each individual point, and they'll get signed off on that training. So when that digital process goes live, the organisation has the assurance that and the confidence that their employees, their teams, know how to use the software correctly. Going beyond that, what we're finding now with technology is a lot of artificial intelligence is becoming more prominent in these technologies. So I can send an email from my Gmail account, for example, and I can put it to one individual, but if I spell their name wrong, the artificial intelligence unit will pick that up and say, are you sure you didn't need to send it to this individual instead of that one? At eSign, we're doing the same. So our software uses real-time tracking technology to make sure that there's no errors as the documents going from point A to point B. And over the next couple of years, we're implementing artificial intelligence units throughout that software to ensure that your document doesn't get to the wrong destination.